on 18 September 2010. It was Afghanistan's first election day, and the Taliban opened up with everything they had in their arsenal. The initial call to be a disciple who makes disciples came when I was 8. We were asked to do these bios for my 3rd grade class. We were asked all sorts of questions, and then the age-old question, what do you want to be when you grow up? I confidently answered a missionary. However, it would be about 15 years to truly identify with Christ and another 10 years to learn to carry out His mission, my calling. I idolized Jim Morrison growing up, front man of the Doors, because of the lifestyle that he led, sex, drugs, and partying. But it was an empty life, and I found myself wasting it away. I really needed help. You know, I kind of grew up not really going to church. I mean, and so I had no idea what this whole Jesus thing was really about. However, there was something inside of me that was intensely spiritual. And I think that's where sort of the pseudo-spiritual connection with Jim Morrison happened. And someone had given me a Bible somewhere along the way. And I was a literature major in college. So I sat down and read the first 3 chapters of John and put my Bible down and said, there's something about this Jesus guy. I don't know what it is, but there's something more to this story. On the first day of classes, fall of 2000, 2 men, Joe Edwin and Sean Tilden, soldiers turned college students, approached me and invited me out to a campus gathering. These 2 men not only shared their lives with me, but they also shared Jesus with me. And a couple of weeks later, they invited me over to Johnny's Big Burger for lunch, where they shared the Bridge to Life with me using one verse, Romans 6:23. They shared that the life I had been living for Jim Morrison was not the way to live, but that there was a better way to live. There was a life full of meaning and purpose through Jesus. That when I put my trust in Him, that life would be completely different. So I received Jesus at Johnny's Big Burger. So it was from Jim to Jesus at Johnny's. That was then. This is now. I eventually joined the Army and deployed to Afghanistan. On my way to war, I began praying for God to change me from the inside out and to get involved in the lives of people. God used this book, Wild at Heart by John Eldredge, as my burning bush. On 18 September 2010, it was Afghanistan's first election day, and the Taliban opened up with everything they had in their arsenal. And it was one firefight after another for about 12 hours. I remember I had ground forces on one microphone and air assets on another, trying to give information to both. And I noticed that the command post, the walls were shaking up and down. I found out later on that the Taliban were dropping in mortars on top of the command post. And that's the reason why the walls were shaking up and down. Fortunately, the sandbags held. But after about 12 hours, night set in, and the Taliban slipped away, and I was completely exhausted. And I just remember going back to basically the place where we hang out and sleep. Sat down on my bunk, and God guided me to John 6, where Jesus simply asked me, "Do you want to stay or do you want to leave?" And it was at that moment where I said to Jesus, "I want to follow you with everything that I am and everything that I have."